Alright all, like the title suggests. Today's video I got a ports list for you. This is for a 1080p gaming computer for about $600 here towards the end of 2020. These are all new ports. You may be able to save you some money if you go on the used market, maybe. Right now the used market's kind of flip-floppy, but you may be able to save a little bit of money if you go on the used market. But these are all new components. And if you came to me and said you had $600 spent on a gaming computer, something like this would be what I'd recommend to you. Let me flip you over here and we'll get into the ports that make up this system. Alright all, and to start out with these ports for this build, for this $600 build, I want to start out with the processor. We got the AMD Ryzen 3 3100 quad core, 3.6 gigahertz. You can get it now on Newegg for about $115 when it comes back into stock. And yes, you've heard me say in my other videos, I'd recommend going with at least a 6 core. But sometimes when you're on a budget, you just can't squeeze that 6 core into your build. So this is a pretty good alternative. It seems like it's got pretty good performance for the dollar. You are paying a little bit more than what it should be, but that's just the way the computer components is right now today. And next we have the motherboard. We're going to go with the GIGABYTE B550 DS3H motherboard. It is a micro ATX. This is the B550 chipset, so it does have the PCI Express 4.0 lanes. And it is a nice, it's a nice little entry, and plus it gives you some upgrade path in the future. If you want to put a higher core processor on this, you'll be able to do so with no problem. You can get it today for $92 here on Newegg today. For the RAM, we got the G.SKILL Ripjaws 5 series 16 gig RAM kit. It is running at 3600 speeds because AMD does like the faster RAM, and that motherboard does support over 3600 megahertz RAM. We'll buy that today for about $61, which is a pretty good deal for 16 gigs. And for storage in this is a little lackluster. We got the Silicon Power Ace A55 2.5 inch 512 gigabyte SATA 3 drive. Paying about $51 for this drive today. But it does have pretty good reviews on it. 512 gigs is plenty to get your operating system and some of your mostly played games downloaded on it. If you got a bigger library of games or whatever, you definitely want to upgrade this or add maybe 1 terabyte hard drive to your system. And the graphics card that I picked for this build is the GIGABYTE GeForce GTX 1650 OC, 4 gigabit memory on it, a DDR5 memory. And it's going for $160 today on Newegg. And in my other videos, I said to try to save up for an 8 gig, but again, when you're talking about budget, sometimes you got to cut some corners to be able to get you a decent gaming experience. And with the 1650, you can play most games at 1080p, 60 frames per second, or thereabouts, awful close to it, with decent settings. If you want to spend a little bit more, or maybe find one on the deal, you could also go with an RX 570, which give you a little bit better performance in the 1080p department. But again, that would up your price. And to power the whole system, we have the EVGA 450 BR100 bronze certified non-modular power supply. You get that today on Newegg for about $55, which ain't too bad, I guess. 455 watts is going to be enough. If you look at the 1650, they recommend at least a 300 watt power supply. So this thing will be plenty to get you to be able to power this system, and for some moderate upgrades in the future without having to upgrade your PSU. And to house the whole computer, I wanted a little bit of bling in this system. So I went with the Cooler Master MasterBox MB311L Argb Airflow Micro ATX case. You can get it on Newegg for about $60. Seems like it's going to have a mesh front for good airflow. It's got a little bit of ARGB lighting in the front for the fans. It's got your tempered glass side panel, which got your full basement underneath for your power supply. I think this would be a pretty good option. For this price point, I don't think you could go wrong for $60 with ARGB tempered glass side panel and that full basement for your power supply. Alright guys, coming over here on the PC port picker, you had all these ports up here. And this is the same ports I just ran down through for you through Newegg there. And you end up with $590.89. So yeah, it's about $10 less than $600. But alright guys, I think that'd make you a decent little 1080p gaming system. Like I said when I went over the graphics card, it plays a lot of games, most games at 1080p. roughly around the 60 frames per second. You may have to turn down your settings to some of them to hit that 60 frames per second. But this is a pretty good option, I think, for getting you into 1080p gaming. You know, if you're just trying out PC gaming, $600 is all you got. I don't think you can go wrong much with this system. It gives you plenty of room for upgradability in the future. You can put in a bigger processor with that B550 motherboard. Swapping out that graphics card is pretty easy. Adding storage, that would be my one thing with this system. The storage in this thing with 512 gigs, that would be enough to get you up and going with a few of your favorite titles. But that would be a little bit lackluster on the storage. So I would definitely recommend maybe picking up a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte hard drive to go along with that SSD. And yes, guys, I plan on putting this one together. I got some of the parts already ordered for this system, so I will be putting it together here on the channel. If you like this kind of content, make sure you go down there and hit that like button. If you really like this kind of content, go down and hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell where you're notified next time I put out a video, I go live. There's that comment section below. I go through them every weekend on my live stream. Usually Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also there's links in the description below for Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to come over there and follow me. I won't kill your inbox, but I put up photos of stuff that I've got coming in to give you an idea of what's coming up on the channel, or if I got to change the live stream time, if I got to cancel live stream, that's where I'll put that information out at. And with all that being said, you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.